Thanks, Sarah, for the introduction, and welcome, colleagues. It's wonderful to have you here. And let me, true to what our custom is here in Stellenbosch, say good day, molweni, goeiemiddag. It's lekker om almal hier te sien. Welcome. So they've asked me to do a few words of welcoming, and then most probably just an overview and a short introduction in terms of where the chair will be positioned here at Stellenbosch, and specifically the one in the international office. So let me start off by reiterating what Sarah has already said, and this is indeed a special event, hosting and launching these two chairs. The first chair will be in intercultural competence, and that will be co-chaired by Dr. Darla Deerdorf. Darla, would you just wave, say hi to everyone who've not met Darla, and Professor Sarah Howie. And the second chair, UNESCO chair, Complex Systems and Transformative African Futures, will be headed by Professor Rika Preiser, sitting here right in front, and where is Tanya? There's Tanya Hiegert. So welcome to the four chairs that's here with us this afternoon. We will be hearing from them a bit later in the program, and I'm sure they will give an explanation in terms of exactly how they work. We'll link with some of the other UNESCO chairs, but also the work that they will contribute that I think would be quite unique given the South African scenario. Our partner in this venture, as you've heard, is UNESCO. And I really want to thank, is Mr. Tabu here? There's a light in my eye, so he's outside. He's coming. So Mr. Tabu will join us, and he's here from Senegal, representing the Africa office of UNESCO. And he's really been here for the past 3 days, so we're here at the last day of three intense days. And his commitment has been here right from the beginning. So in the intercultural workshop that took place yesterday, I did mention that we are very fortunate in terms of the program being attended also by so many of our international partners and audiences. And I do want to ask the other UNESCO chairs just to stand so that we can also recognize you. Please. Oh. And we really appreciate you being here, participating in the previous 2 days. And I think that just shares the commitment in terms of and showing where this may possibly go in building this network into the future. I also want to recognize online quite a number of colleagues, as Sarah has already alluded to. But specifically today, we have Professor Roxana Osman, who will be joining later in speaking to us, and she is representing UNESCO South Africa. And I want to say online, welcome, Roxana. Very pleased that you are joining and also sharing a message from UNESCO South Africa. So let me just at this point say, as we do in South Africa, all protocol observed. I want to make a few introductory remarks and specifically want to start with collaboration in higher education, which is becoming more and more important. It is indeed based on the conviction that partnerships is engaging in global networks are becoming so essential to support universities realizing their institutional goals and objectives and to drive change, but ultimately, why universities exist is to make a difference in society. To navigate an ever-evolving higher education landscape globally, universities must look beyond their borders and engage with partners and networks to achieve a greater good for themselves, for our institutions, for higher education sector, and as I said, society at large. Recently, a major study that was conducted at the University of Oslo in Norway specifically focused on collaboration and competition in higher education. And it spoke about moving away from the notion that it's competitive to one where it is about collaboration and working together. What became very evident from the work of these authors was also the shift away from unilateral and bilateral agreements between either universities in the north and the south, or south-south, north-north, to a situation where we find collaboration that is multi-linked and that really speaks to strategic alliances. And very interesting for those of you who followed what is happening in Europe, especially since the European Union has announced the New Europe Innovation Fund, how networks have emerged across the continent. And I think the last number that I saw was up to 46 of those networks, bringing universities from across the continent together, European continent. What we see in our own continent is also some of that starting to evolve. And I think this really lends itself to opportunities to be very strategically positioned in terms of the partnerships we want to build. And I want to say, what better example than the UNESCO chairs that we are launching here today? They will form part of a UNESCO network of over 850 institutions based in 120 countries. I mean, immediately it provides us with an opportunity to plug into another network and a system globally. And it's aimed at promoting international and inter-university cooperation and networking, and to enhance institutional capacity building through knowledge sharing and collaborative work. When we look at the UNESCO positions and its chair program, it is certainly about promoting global inter-university cooperation and stimulating and building on the networking. These chairs aim to enhance institutional capacity building, and of course we would be looking forward to see how it will happen here at our own university. So the program indeed enables university to share resources to address these global societal challenges. Interestingly, when I looked at some of the UNESCO documents, it described the chairs as think tanks and also as bridge builders. And it was very interesting yesterday in the part that I could be here during the seminar was, so how do we use intercultural competence to build peace? And what would that mean for a country like South Africa based on this continent and then plugged into the rest of the world? And it really indeed was a space of dialogue, discourse, unpacking the narratives, but really a space of think tank. So it's through these collaborations that I also see bringing together the global South and the global North. And if there's at any given time in history that I think the global South gets really irritated about, is when the global North says, we will help you. It's now to the point of how do we do it collective? How do we find the answers collectively? And I'm really looking forward to the work of these chairs to help us moving this forward. Here at Stellenbosch University, it's now, I think we've had 43 UNESCO chairs, and this has been an increase. 10 years ago, there were 23. So it's quite a significant increase. And we also see the role that they have played. So at Stellenbosch, just want to share one or two things, how this is indeed also related to our strategy in terms of mobilizing knowledge to ensure that there's research excellence. And this is contributing significantly to the achievement of our strategy. And specifically in relation to 4 of the themes, and it speaks to pursuing purposeful partnerships and inclusive networks, providing network and collaborative teaching and learning, enabling a transformative student experience, and conducting research with impact. So of course, driving the strategy of the university, this is an ideal space for me to be in, because these chairs and the work that they will be doing is aligned with our Vision 2040 and making that contribution. Our focus is at Stellenbosch. Our strategic framework speaks to that we want to strengthen interdisciplinary and multidisciplinary research to advance, deepen, and transfer and implement the knowledge. We also say that we aim to influence and change the world around us while being responsive and embracing the change ourselves. I think that's the challenge for all of us. It's not the us and the them anymore. It is, but how do we do this collectively? Our international strategy is also in support of these chairs that we're launching here today, because it provides us with the opportunity that our students, through the work of the chairs, will also be exposed to this network globally. So in conclusion, I want to say that it's really an honor and a pleasure for me to open this and welcome you all at the launch of these research chairs, because we really see here at Stellenbosch University moving us forward in terms of everything that we want to achieve: research excellence, collaboration, building strategic alliances. Once again, welcome, and I hope that you will find this afternoon enlightening, and that you would also be able to, in future, participate in making a contribution and being part of this network. Thank you.